This is the alien monster that never should have existed on Earth. It is also the original true god of deep-sea giants. If you're lucky enough to travel back in time and encounter it, remember, never admit it that you've eaten iron plate squid or takoyaki. I believe those who guessed it already know. That's right, it is the ancestor of all tentacled monsters, the Orthocone. As a giant of the Ordovician period, its body length could reach 9 meters or even longer. In one word, huge. Although it was enormous, most of it was actually its head. So what was inside that massive head? According to my bold analysis, probably the same thing as what's in your friend's brain. That's right, its brain was basically filled with water. But its water brain wasn't because it was dumb, it was for propulsion. It sucked seawater into its head, then used extremely powerful muscular contractions to violently squeeze it out, blasting it through a fleshy exhaust tube. The massive pressure generated propelled its body forward in reverse. This violent recoil force is actually the same principle used in modern jet engines. Once the water pressure engine activated, this ghost-like torpedo fish could launch backward like a deep-sea monkey being slingshotted. While other fish were still struggling in the water, this guy was already taking off. So the question is, where was it going so fast? Obviously to the deep-sea dining hall to eat. With this overwhelming speed advantage, it didn't even need to scan a QR code to eat buffet style. Among its vast social circle, trilobites of the same era were its lifelong meal buddies. Except trilobites were the food, and it was the one doing the eating, and it ate in an extremely brutal way. Trilobites were basically the cockroaches of the Ordovician seabed, small in size but extremely tough, covered in armor-like exoskeletons that were basically bulletproof. When in danger, they would curl up, turning into a hard metal-like ball. In a time before proper teeth even existed, this was basically an invincible defense. But in the eyes of orthocones, it was just a shelled macadamia nut. You think this 9-meter monster would chase prey like a mad dog across the ocean? Wrong. It was a strategic old schemer. Because its shell was too long behind it, it didn't even bother chasing. It simply hovered in the shadow of underwater reefs like a silent nuclear submarine. Its dozen or so tentacles drooped between rock crevices, disguised as drifting seaweed. The hunt never needed shouting. When an unlucky trilobite passed by, humming happily while eating moss, it had no idea death had already locked onto its skull. In an instant, the seaweed exploded to life. Dozens of muscular, coil-like tentacles shot out, clamping down like hydraulic presses, locking the trilobite in place. The central beak-like mouth snapped shut like heavy industrial shears. And in one bite, crispy, explosive, seafood-flavored, the trilobite became its afternoon snack. The feeding was so violent that shell fragments and flesh splattered everywhere. Amid this bloody aftermath, a sneaky opportunist appeared, a small, almost comical armored fish. If Orthocone was a deep-sea overlord, this guy was the most pathetic beggar of the Ordovician. It was only a few centimeters long, covered in a broken, ragged armor. Most absurdly, it didn't even have a lower jaw. Due to underdeveloped anatomy, it could never experience the joy of closing its mouth. It could only remain forever with a shocked O-shaped mouth expression. This permanently stunned-looking creature couldn't hunt at all, so its only survival strategy was shamelessly following behind the Orthocone. While the Orthocone ate meat up front, it stayed underneath, mouth wide open, desperately biting at leftovers and scraps. Living under the shadow of a 9-meter giant, it survived in extreme fear and humility. But remember this carefully, this useless, jawless creature that lived off leftovers is about to deliver the most absurd twist in this story. Millions of years later, the once unstoppable Orthocone completely went extinct, leaving nothing behind, while that same jawless fish quietly evolved internal skeletons, developed jaws, moved onto land, and became amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. After hundreds of millions of years, it wore clothes, picked up a phone, and opened this TikTok video. That's right, the viewers watching this right now are its descendants. Our ancestors were once those jawless, O-mouth bottom feeders. Surprised? Isn't nature's irony wild? After joking about our embarrassing ancestors, let's return to today's main character, the Orthocone. If it was so powerful, how did it go extinct? The answer is simple. Armor too heavy. With no natural enemies, it developed extreme defensive obsession. Its shell kept getting bigger and heavier until it became a 9-meter underwater moving fortress. But it couldn't pay the maintenance cost. To To keep it afloat, its shell was divided into many gas chambers controlled by a buoyancy system. This worked when it was small, but at 9 meters long, physics struck back hard. The calcium carbonate shell became too heavy, like carrying a wooden pole on your back while swimming. The system couldn't support its weight anymore. The front could still move slightly, but the back was dragging it down endlessly. Its proud jet propulsion system became useless, and its ultimate defense turned into a living coffin. Worse still, during the late Ordovician, Earth entered a massive ice age. Temperatures dropped sharply and sea levels fell dramatically. Shallow seas disappeared. Other creatures escaped to deeper waters, but Orthocones couldn't. Trapped by their own heavy shells, they couldn't move. When the tides retreated, the most tragic scene unfolded. Once dominant ocean rulers were stranded like unplugged machines, exposed to the scorching sun, slowly dehydrating. Those powerful tentacles, once capable of tearing trilobites apart, now twitched helplessly in the mud. Fully conscious, they slowly died. No predator defeated them, only their own greed did. After millions of years of evolution, they maxed out defense stats, but built themselves into extinction. From ocean kings to giant seafood cans in Earth's history. And what does this tell us? No matter the era, traveling light will always take you further than carrying too much baggage. If you enjoyed this journey back into deep time and want to keep exploring more impossible creatures, prehistoric legends, and ocean monsters that feel like they belong on another planet, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what comes next. We've only scratched the surface of Earth's ancient history. There are still countless strange and terrifying life forms that once ruled the seas, and we're going to bring all of them back to life together in upcoming videos. If you made it all the way to the end, you're officially part of this deep time crew. Drop a comment and tell me which ancient creature you want to see next, or what time period we should dive into. I read them all, and of course if you enjoyed this story, leave a like. It really helps push these ancient worlds back into the spotlight. See you in the next one.